Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz December 11, 2017, 9:56 p.m. in Birmingham. And topic is, you're looking at it. This is right here. You can see the date and the times of the beginning of the ending of Hanukkah is sundown, which is in Israel, and that'll be 4:36 p.m. Not our time though, but keep in mind they're 8 hours ahead of us, and it'll go through the 20th of December in sundown, whatever time it is on that day. But King David wrote in the book of Psalms that God has set a time to show grace and mercy to the Jewish people. That set time is always calibrated whether the Jews are in the land or out of the land. This is why I said earlier, we're always on their clock. They're the timepiece. Now, when I say they're the timepiece for the entire planet. But very few people know how important that really is and what that means to them, because it's going to affect everyone. And I won't go back through the Balfour Declaration, the 50 years and the 70 years and the 100 years. All those come to fulfillment basically in the next 8 days here. And so all the generations, so there aren't any that needs to be fulfilled. So the generations that sees this end days are supposed to be coming to an end here, coming to a conclusion that'll kick off the final 7 years. Now, how close am I to this? I don't know. I would think we're fairly close. But just give you an idea of how upset people are around the world, is still seeking peace in Jerusalem 100 years since Britain's victory. In Erdogan, Turkey, Israel has been occupying the Palestinian people's land for hundreds of years. It's the hundreds of year old homeland. And the PFLP canceled the Oslo Accords. Terrorist group says Trump's decision on Jerusalem destroyed the possibility of implementing the two-state solution. If you're talking about dividing Jerusalem, you bet it did. There's no dividing of it. Look, if you go in and literally divide Jerusalem and hand them to the Palestinians, then the tribulation will start that day, that moment. And the first day of the tribulation will be unfriggin' believable. Well, this will be the day that the war breaks out, Ezekiel 38:39. All that would start on that very day. God won't permit it. Now, are there people that needs to come in first? Yes, there is. And that's why we're still here. If the last person who's going to accept Christ has already accepted Christ, then we wouldn't be here today. A lot has to happen yet, but I believe the time frame in which it has to happen is very narrow at this point. Macron tells Netanyahu that U.S. recognized Jerusalem is a threat to peace. Netanyahu faces pressure in Europe amid Jerusalem protest in Jerusalem. Netanyahu expects the EU to follow the U.S. recognition. And I do too. I think many countries will really quickly here. And I think that'll be a part of the next 8-day surprise of how many people will come on board in recognizing that Jerusalem is the capital of the nation of Israel. And I call it a nation rather than a state. It is a nation. It's a separate people, just like we are a separate people. And Russia is a separate people, and Iran is a separate people. Israel's small, but they're still a nation, and they're mighty in God's eyes. And when God puts his might behind it, they're mightier than the rest of them. Netanyahu in Brussels, Israel is preventing the spread of radical Islam to Europe. You have no idea what these people are doing, guys, and you don't know what their intel is. It's unbelievable. Palestinian reconciliation hits obstacles on deadline, Fatah says. Naturally, their deadline's been shattered to atoms. Egypt's Sisi invites Palestinian president to Cairo to discuss Trump's Jerusalem move. Now, Egypt, you'll watch them. They're going to fall in alignment with the moves and the decisions that's been made with Israel. They're going to support it. Israel, Turkey leaders trade insults over U.S. Jerusalem decision. And who would expect them to do anything less than that? Netanyahu slams Turkey's Erdogan for claiming Israel is a terrorist state that kills children. That man was smoking something stronger than what's that, wildwood weed, to say something like that. It's the Islam that kills their own wives and children. A man who is supposed to protect his family, their own children and wives are terrified of them when they adhere to Islam. Islam is nothing but hell on earth for those people. And I pray for them every night, believe it or not. Implementation of the U.S. decision on Jerusalem will not be easy, says Turkey's president. Well, it will be. It's already been done. Hardline Indonesian Muslim groups burn U.S. Israeli flags over Trump's Jerusalem move. Well, Bangladesh, the guy that just came over, had that bomb, yesterday. U.S., and he was Muslim. They went through these countries over there and terrorized the hell out of people. And I don't know how many of them turned to Islam because, well, I hope one day they'll be given the opportunity to get out of it, because one of them's going to hurt for a little while, the other one's going to hurt for eternity. And I'd rather deal with a little while. United States to quell global outrage over Jerusalem. The sky hasn't fallen. Calm down. Pope warns of Jerusalem's spiral of violence. Again, Jerusalem spiral of violence. God. White House, unfortunate that Palestinians declined meeting with Pence. Well, we expected that as well. They're just pitching fits like kids. We have Hamas, and the enemy will pay the price of breaking rules of engagement with Gazan residents. Well, Israel has been really holding back on these people. When they start hitting, then Israel's just going to, go full on these guys, and it's going to hurt them a whole lot more. Israel says it's destroyed Hamas tunnels using new techniques, and they're not telling. Lieberman, world is interested in our anti-tunnel technology. Well, you know what? Lieberman is Jewish. You know that. But he hadn't been standing with the Jews for as long as I've known that man. And that's why I don't hate him. I just dislike what he does. American diplomat, United States looks to counter Iran in post-war Iraq. And this is why I made the remark earlier about the 6.0 earthquake in Iran. That hurt them, guys. And I think there's going to be many more of those to follow that's going to weaken them to the point of where they may not have the ability to strike, not anytime soon. So American diplomat, U.S. looking to, I just said that, in Iran move, or in a landmark move, Saudi Arabia to issue cinema license in early 2018. What's good, the bad, and ugly, huh? Egypt to sign contracts for nuclear power plants during Putin's visit. And that'll be on the Aswan High Dam, guys. You watch. North Korea is hacking Bitcoin exchanges. Its currency value soars, expert says. Let me tell you what Bitcoin is. It's bit you on the butt is what it did. South Korea imposes new sanctions on North Korea. Well, let's move on down. Let's get into a little bit more. South Korea, Japan start missile tracking drill. I didn't mean to go that slow. Let me move on away. 5.3 earthquake in New Caledonia. And wherever this Peru volcano, 28,000 feet, erupts. Another one, Indonesia, erupts 18,000 feet. Another in Guatemala to 17,000 feet. Another Indonesia, a separate one, 15,000 feet. In Ecuador, 14,000 feet. And it snowed in Florida just as it did here. And snow on the ground. And California wildfire rages toward scenic coastal communities. These are high dollar homes. It's like, well, the Tonight Show headline leader, the host, past and the present. California Governor Jerry Brown suggests on climate change, Trump doesn't fear the Lord or the wrath of God. Well, it's the other way around. I think Trump fears him far more than Jerry Brown does. Jerry Brown fears the taxpayers. That's what he fears. Guys, I've gone over. There's just news out the yin-yang, and it's coming in quicker than they can type it. And anyway, I'll see you. Jody Wolf Expoz.